Hey friends, what's up? This is Kat and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm super duper excited for this because I am finally doing something that I should have done a long time ago. In this video, we are finally doing a bookshelf tour. Okay, it's a bookshelf tour with my K-pop collection right behind me. So just a few things before we start the video. Number one, I've unhauled like 70% of my book collection since last year. I think since 2021, I've been unhauling a lot, and that's why, second disclaimer, I only have here a handful of books. I could say I probably have like 50 books or less because I think that's how little this collection is. So it's not massive. It's not gonna be extravagant. It's not gonna be too much. These are just books that fit on this shelf. So the books that I currently have are the ones that I have read and loved and I am planning to reread in the future, or I have probably reread them already. And then I also have here a few books that I haven't read yet, but I am 110% sure, 200% sure that I'm going to read them. So anyway, yeah, just to make these things organized and faster for you to grasp, the first part of this video is going to be my book collection. Like, I'm going to show you each book on each shelf right there. And then right after, I'm going to go with my K-pop collection that was just around here. So I all have them in the same place. So I think it's the best thing for me to also document my K-pop collection, even though I know that you're just here for the books. I just want to say that I want to put them here as well. So I'm just going to put timestamps on the description box and also on your screen right now, so that if you're only interested in books, you know where to start, and if you're only interested in K-pop, you know where to start as well. So without further ado, let's just get this started. Let's go. Okay, so I just want to give you a quick rundown of what my shelves look like. So I have here these two cases that I got from Handyman, and then this one right here that I've got, I actually forgot where I got this. So this have been with me since 2021, I think, or 2020, this three bookcases, and I've been using them since. So if you can see, like, it's already been like battered and worn out already. So I'm planning to get myself another like big shelf in here, which I'm planning to have custom made, but I don't have money for that yet, so I'm sticking with this. So anyway, on the very top of the shelf are my 80s collection, which I'm going to go through later on, and then we have here books already, another set of books, and then at the bottom we have books and K-pop, and then those are just whatevers. And then on this small case we have some books in there, and then my CD player, and then my Taylor Swift albums, and then my K-pop collection as well. So let's start first with the books. Let's start with the first shelf, and this obviously are my favorites. These are my favorite fantasy sci-fi-ish books that I have. Of course, I have two versions of Babel by R.F. Kuang because I love them so much. So this one was signed and it was from Waterstones, and then this one is the US edition that I got locally and which I tapped, as you have probably seen on my reading vlog. And then we have here, of course, the Hunger Games series, which I love so very much. These are just the regular US hardbound covers, and then of course we have the Poppy War series, which are not in chronological order, I think. Yeah, so I don't know why, but anyway, these books are so important to me, but I haven't read the third book yet. And then I have here a frame of Kitai, which was included in the TLC collection that was 2 years ago, I guess. So I had it framed because I love this character so much, and it was illustrated by Trish. So yeah, and then of course we have there one of my favorite series ever, and this is Where Dreams Descend by Janela Angeles. This one was special editions cover, or dust jacket I mean, from TLC as well, the literary culture. I love this illustration so much. It was also illustrated by Trish, by the way. As you can see, I'm very biased. Look at Kalia. She's so beautiful. So yeah, and also like the back of this. Why did I say back? So yeah, the back of this was so good. I love this. That's just everything that I have in this shelf, like all the fantasy or SFF that I love so much and I am planning to read in the future. Hopefully I will grow this one. So anyway, and then let's move on to the second case, or the second shelf I mean. And this have all my classics, non-fiction, anthologies. This is just a disposable camera that I've got from Shopee that I haven't had developed yet, but I don't think that I would, because the person that I was with when I used this, we're no longer together. So, and then I have here a candle from my good friend Renee. I don't know if it's already open, but I think it's opening soon. So that is TSM Scent by Alexis. And then I have here a postcard of Ming Hao, which was given to me by Trish. Thank you so much. Love him so very much. So yeah, anyway, going to our books. Okay, so I have here this beautiful editions by, it was Paper Mill Press. So I got this from Book Outlet, and this is The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes and The Picture of Dorian Gray. Yeah, so this two are like my priority reads when it comes to like classics that I want to get into. And then of course I have here some of my favorite nonfiction. This is Stamped, which I've already talked about so much. And then we have here 17 Prayers to the Many-Eyed Mother by Eliza Victoria, which is one of my favorite anthologies ever. I'm not gonna pull out everything because that's exhausting. But I have here Know My Name by Chanel Miller, which you all know that I love so very much. Like, I love this book. And then I have this book by John Green. This is The Anthropocene Reviewed. I haven't read this one yet, but I'm planning to very soon, just because I want to read another book by John Green. He's definitely one of my all-time favorite authors, although I don't agree with his works most of the time. But anyway, this is a nonfiction by Bianca Gonzalez, which is Paano Ba To? She's definitely one of my favorite people in the world. And then When Breath Becomes Air by Paul Kalaniti, which was also amazing. I have here a few classics. At the top of the shelf, we have here Only Dull People Are Brilliant at Breakfast by Oscar Wilde, which I haven't read yet. And then 1984 by George Orwell, which I am planning to get into again this year because I wasn't able to finish it last year. And then The Little Prince by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, which I read in college and I'm planning to reread this year as well. And then we have In the Country by Mi Alvar, one of also my favorite Filipino anthologies. And then Educated by Tara Was Over, which you all know that I love. Eat, Pray, Love by Elizabeth Gilbert, that I have yet to reread, but I am reading this. I promise I'm reading that book. And then we have In the Dream House by Carmen Maria Machado. And then these two books by Morgan Harper Nichols, which you all know is one of my favorite people in the entire world. I love these books a lot. And she is releasing another book this year, which I'm super duper excited about. And then Unsaid is one of my favorite anthologies. Like, I love this book a lot. This was sent to me by Penguin House Southeast Asia, which I'm very thankful for. And then we have here The Practice of Not Thinking by, I'm not going to try to pronounce that name because I will butcher it, that is for sure. But this is a non-fiction about mindful living, which I'm going to practice this year. That's why I have it there. And then a few translated works from Korean. These two were gifted to me by Richard, a very good friend. Let's move on. This is definitely my YA shelf. Okay, so I categorize my books based on genre. This one is my YA, and as you can see, these are some of my favorite YA of all time. Like, you all know I love Melina Marchetta with all my life, with all my heart, with all my soul. So these are her 3 books. I have another book by her, which is on my TBR pile. I'm gonna show it later, but these are books that I've already read. And then I have Still Life with Tornado by A.S. King, which I also love so much. And then 2 books by John Green, and oh, why is it doing that? And then, of course, Alma Rach by Saba Tahir, which is also one of my favorite books of all time. And then I have here an album by Red Velvet. This is Feel My Rhythm, which was released in 2022, and I feel like it's so fancy. I had to display it in one way or another. And then Just This Perfume from Benefit, which was gifted to me by my sister. And then I have here Bomgyu and Yeonjun. Actually, this was like a freebie or something from a purchase, and I just love it because these two are my biases in TXT, so I put it there. And then I have here like a card or something. This is from Heartstopper, and this was given to me by Riza, a friend from Bookstagram. Anyway, so I have here, of course, all my other YA books. Long Way Down by Jason Reynolds will forever be on my shelf. I don't think I would ever unhaul this book because it's just taught me so much, and I just love that book. And then I have here, of course, 4 volumes of Heartstopper, which again will never ever be unhauled in my lifetime unless I really need money for that. But these are just one of my favorite romances ever existed. Some of my favorite characters are in this series, and I will forever treasure them. And then I have here 2 books by Angie Thomas. As you all know, I love Angie Thomas so much. So we have here The Hate You Give and Concrete Crows. I'm missing On the Come Up, but I'm planning to get it into like a hardback edition. And then of course we have The Black Flamingo by Dean Atta. I love this book. I love this book so much. This, by the way, is gifted to me by Donna. Again, and another good friend. And then we have here The Takedown by Cory Wong. This was gifted to me by Gerald, and this is so interesting. Like, I am very interested in this book, that's why it's not being unhauled. And then The Infinite Noise by Lauren Shippen. This was gifted by a publisher through Donna, so thank you very much. And then we have The Nowhere Girls by Amy Reed, which is another favorite book of 2022. This book was just so good. And then I have here The Final Gambit by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is the 3rd book of the Inheritance Games series, and this book was gifted to me by Trish. So I'm planning to read this. I've read the first 2 books. I've unhauled all of them already just because I didn't like the 2nd book. Now, people said that the 3rd book is gonna be great, so I'm hoping. So yeah, anyway, and then the last book that I have in this shelf is The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo. This book was gifted to be by Elena, and this is also one of my favorite like poetry novels that I have ever read, and I just love this author so much. So this will be there. So as you can see, a lot of these books are gifted to me, and I appreciate all of them, and I love them with all my heart. So they are staying. They're sticking up with me, okay? Now let's move on to another shelf. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, checking out these books in this shelf is gonna be a challenge because I have another small shelf in here, and it's gonna be chaotic, so please bear with me. But anyway, this is an album by NCT Dream. This is the first, and definitely one of my favorite albums by them, and I just love how beautiful this album is, so I put it here as a display. So in this shelf we have a mix of middle grade and then adult fiction and some mystery thrillers that I haven't gotten to yet. I hope I can give you more light. Okay, I'm gonna fix this. As I've said, we have here middle grade. We have my most favorite middle grade fantasy series right now. This is Nevermore series by Jessica Townsend. I have the first 3 books. The 4th book will be coming in this year, and I'm super excited for that book to come in, but I haven't read the 3rd book yet. And this is gifted to me again by Richard. And then right here we have some of my most favorite adult fiction, and of course my favorite romance author right now. This is Emily Henry. I have Book Lovers, Beach Read, and People We Meet on Vacation. And then another favorite author of mine, Taylor Jenkins Reid. We have Tacy Jones in the 6, and then 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and Gary Soto is back. So yeah, I'm missing Malibu Rising because I lent it to a friend. And then if we remove these books, we are getting some of mystery thrillers that I haven't get into yet. These are all from book sale, by the way. I have here Into the Darkest Corner by Elizabeth Haynes. This one is non-fiction. It's a true crime. I am excited for this one. Tacoma Confidential, A True Story of Murder, Suicide, and Police Police Chief's Secret Life by Paula Rosa. This is not a mystery thriller but an adult fiction. This is still Alice by Lisa Genova. And then of course a book by Corinne Slaughter. I have Blindsided. which is the first book in the series. And then if we remove that, we are getting a few more middle grade that I loved so dearly. The Weight of Her Sky by Hannah Ankaf, I haven't read yet, but I'm planning to very, very soon. But this one, The Girl and the Ghost by the same author, is one of my favorite middle grade fantasy of all time. And then of course, a few books by Erin Entrada Kelly. If you can see, I've unhauled a lot of her books. Instead, I just kept the ones that I really, really love. So Hello Universe and Lalani of the Distant Sea. And then Mary and the Night Brothers. And then Sugar Inspired by Gail D. Villanueva is one of my favorite books as well. And then I have Parents Wanted, one of my favorites, King of the Dragonflies by Keeson Calendar. And then Savvy by Ingrid Law. This was gifted to me by another friend, so I'm not unhauling it and I'm planning to read it. So those are all the books from this shelf. And let's move on to the next one. Alright guys, so moving on to my last bookshelf. And as you can see, these are all my Filipino books. So I've also unhauled quite a few Filipino literature or books in the past few... Oh wait, I forgot that I still have this. Oh my god, this is not a complete collection. Obviously not, because I also have this. Okay, let me go ahead and fix this one first. I'm gonna be back. Alright now, so I think I have my complete collection of Filipino books in here. I totally forgot that I still have this graphic novels. So anyway, I just remembered that I've done a book collection of all my Filipino authored books 1.5 or probably 2 years ago. I'm gonna put the link on the screen right now if you're interested. But I've unhauled a lot of those, especially the ones that I am not really that interested in, or books that I really didn't like or love. So here are all the books that I just really put as my collection. So these are all my Bob Ong books. I have this one incomplete, but again, I'm missing the one book that I lent to a friend, which hindi pa niya binabalik, obviously. And then I have some graphic, I don't know if I can call this graphic novel. It's more like picture books by Rob Cham. I have Lost and Light. So I'm gonna put it here for a while. And then let's go to some graphic novels that I have. I have here Noli Me Tangere and El Filibusterismo by Dr. Jose Rizal, which was written by Grace R. Miranda. This was like a abridged English version in graphic novel format. And then I have Mga Uring Panlipunan and Tong Diktadura by Equipo Plantel. This one was illustrated by Joan Negres Color, is it how you pronounce it? And then this one was by Mikel Casal. I've read this and I highly recommend it. And then of course I have Sandali by Mikey Jimenez and Mikey Marchand, which I've read in 2020. And then of course I have the Tabi Po series by Mervyn Malonzo, one of my favorite graphic novels ever existed. And then Sagala by Tori Tadior. She released another one and I am planning to get that as well. And then here are some books that I haven't read yet. These are the books that I got from MIBF last year. This is Mars My Zombie by Tractor J. Pascal, or Pascual I mean, I'm sorry. And then Alon and Lilis Last Summer Before Doomsday by Ingrid Valenzuela. I'm planning to read these 2 YA books this year, promise. And then Anina ng Mga Alon by Eugene Y. Evasco, one of my most favorite Filipino reads of all time. And then I have some books by, of course, Walhati Bautista. Let me remove these books first so you could see it clearly. So yeah, these are 4 books by one of my favorite Filipino authors ever, and I've read all of them. Currently, my favorite one is this one, Desaparecidos, which I've talked about in my favorite books of 2022. And of course, we have the complete series of Chano Silang by Edgar Calabia Samar. We have book 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. I have finished until book number 3, but I'm currently on my reread session so that I would be able to continue with the last 2 books. I've done rereading this one a month ago. Now I'm planning to read the 2nd and 3rd book, so I would continue with the 4th and the 5th. And then one of my favorite, oh my god, Smaller and Smaller Circles by F.H. Patakan. I love this book so very, very much. One of my favorite mystery thrillers by Filipino author. And then we have a graphic novel of Quintot Pila, like a children's memoir of Heidelin Diaz, and it was written by herself and Eugene Evasco. And then we have Nightfall by Eliza Victoria, who is one of my favorite Filipino authors. You know what, guys? I'm gonna confess I haven't finished this book yet, but I'm going to. I promise I'm going to. And then, of course, Para Kay B by Ricky Lee. So I have a few books by him in here. So again, we have Para Kay B, which is one of my all-time favorites. And then Si Amapola at ang 65 na Kabanata, which I haven't read yet. And then my most recent read was Bahay ni Martha. And this book was so good. I love this. I love that so much. And then we have a few more books, just random ones. Hindi Bagay by Jerry B. Gracio, which is a poetry collection. And then Kulto by Gerald Curazo, who is, of course, my friend. And A Miracle by Peach Exhibition, which is one of my favorite Wattpad stories ever existed. And the last book on this shelf is Ted Baligtas, Mga Sayaw sa Dagat at Lupa. This book was gifted to me by Kara, who is another good friend of mine. So yeah. So these are all my Filipino collections at the moment. I'm gonna put that back. As I've said, I've unhauled a lot of Filipino books. Anyway, we are ending my book collection right here. Now we are moving on to my K-pop collection. So if you're interested, just keep on watching. Okay, so this is going to be a mess because as you can see, I'm only using this lampshade as a light because it's so dark right now in my room, and I don't know why I am not replacing the bulb yet. Like, I know that my room is so dark. So this, as I've said, this is on top of my bookcases. So these are all the books that we have talked about earlier, and now we are at the top. And if you don't know yet, 80s is my alt group. I just love this group so much. So I collected all their albums and all the versions of their albums. I'm only missing the recent ones and the Japanese albums because I haven't started on Japanese albums yet, though I have a Japanese album in here, which I'm going to show later. So this is, of course, a group photo, and then this is a remembrance from the K-pop Masters 2, which I've attended, and then this is a group photo card from the Lightstick version 2, and then this one was a souvenir from my best friend's wedding last December, which I don't know where to put, so I put it here. And then an 80s light something. I don't know what this one is called, but it's so pretty. So yeah, I have it here, and this was gifted to me by Gerald, so love that so much. So we have here all the Korean albums. Let's start with the very first one so that you won't be confused. This is the very first album, which is Treasure EP1, and then Treasure EP2, and then two versions of Treasure EP3, and then we have here Treasure Epilogue, two versions as well. And then right after that, we have Treasure EP Fin, like the finale, in two versions. Oh, I'm missing one version of this because they have like a special edition. It's so hard to find, so I don't have it yet. And then we're starting with the next series, which is Fever series. We have the Fever series 1, which has three versions. There's three colorful, beautiful boxes. And then Fever part 2, we also have your three versions. This 1, 2, and 3. And then Fever part 3, these are the three versions as well. And then Fever Epilogue, these are the three versions. I love these albums so much. I love them. Like, I love seeing them like this. They just look so good. And then we have the most recent EP. Oh, not really the recent one, but like last year, this was the very first episode of the new series, which is the World EP1 Movement. So I have the three versions as well. And then let's go our way up here. I have some boxes of their birthday merch. So we have San, Mingi, and then Yosang. And then this is the calendar from Season Greetings 2021 or 2022, I mean. I just want to put it there. And then some like cup sleeve from a birthday event of Hongjoong. And then this is my light stick. I don't have a case for it yet, so I'm putting it in the box. And then we have here a Japanese album. This is like my only Japanese album by ATEEZ. And then we have this special album by ATEEZ in collaboration with Kim Jungkook. And this is called Season Songs. I love this little album. And then we have the complete 8 versions. Yes, complete 8 versions of the World EP1 Movement, the Digipack versions. As you can see, I have completed all the members. Oh, frick. This is the box for Wooyoung's birthday merch. This is from Yuno's birthday merch. And then this is their summer photo book, calendar from Season Greetings 2021. And then Ode to Youth photo book, which I love. And then this is the third membership something of ATEEZ. And yeah, I got that as well. So yeah, so we're done with the 80s shelf. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, so before we go to the other shelf, I just want to show you this wall because I love it. Of course, I have some Taylor Swift, Woods, BI 17. This is a poster that I got from when 80s went here. And then this is my Be The Sun concert ticket. Of course, we have 17 from Semicolon, which is one of my favorite albums of theirs. And then we have 80s, of course, and then NCT. Then on top of this shelf is my MP3 player. We have here Run to You. Oh, Young Love. Young Love by Stacy. And then I have here some Taylor Swift albums, and then just another candle by my friend Renee, and some books on my TBR pile. So we have here Coraline by Neil Gaiman, The Lies We Told by Katie Zhao, The Ogress, and The Orphans by Kelly Barnhill. These are books that I borrowed from Sai. And then I have here, this is the second book of Amari and the Night Brothers, Amari and the Great Game. It's currently on my TBR. And then of course I have another book by Melina Marchetta, which is The Piper's Son, which I'm planning to read very, very soon. So yeah, these are everything in here. Let's move on to the next K-pop shelf. Okay, so what I have in here for you are my 17 collections. I actually unhauled a few of these because I have like multiple versions, and I thought of just having one version per album. So of course we have here Ataka. Oh my god. So I have here Ataka, which is the group version. I have here Your Choice, one side version only. I also have an Ode, which is one of my favorite concept photos by them. And then I have the Carrot version of Ataka and Face the Sun. So this four are my biases in 17, my main biases. So my four biases in 17 are Escoops, Jonghan, Minghao, and Tino. So I only got their Carrot versions in here, so that's why they are four. And then I have here Hengare, is it Hengare? And then Sector 17, and then Semicolon, and then compact version of Sector 17. I also got for of the members. And then I have here Songchol and Chonghan. And then second level, these are my favorite albums as well and favorite groups. We have TXT, of course. We have this Fighter Escape, and then we have the KS Chapter Freeze. Oh my god, this album is one of my favorite albums ever existed. This album changed the trajectory of my life. I keep on saying that because it really did, and it saved me in a lot of ways. This is Dawn by The Rose, and I got this album for such an expensive price. Like, I'm not kidding. I've shed a few thousands for that. And then we have Color for Trauma by Woods, who is one of my favorite solo artists of all time. And then we have this Universe album by NCT, which again, gifted by Trish. Thank you so much. I have a few albums by NCT 127. I have Sticker and Favorite and Two Baddies. I have yet to buy their newest release, probably the next time around. And then I have here another favorite album of mine. This is Moth by Woo Song, who is the vocalist of The Rose. And then of course we have the Dream Chapter Star by TXT, have the Dream Chapter Magic, Dream Chapter Eternity, and then this is Cosmos by Hanbin or PI. Love that album so very much. And then one of my favorite albums of all time. Like, if there's like favorite books of all time, I also have like favorite albums of all time. This is Only Lovers Left by Woods. Okay, now at the bottom of this case, this is the B album by BTS, which is one of my favorite albums of all time. Like, this album changed my life completely. I am not kidding. I love this album so much. And then of course we have an album by iKON. This is Welcome Back, which is their debut album, I guess. So love. And then Stereotype by Stacey, another Stacey album, which I'm not going to show you properly because it's so ugly. Like, the packaging is so ugly, don't get me wrong. That's Young Love. And then another TXT album, Tristie's Child. We have, what's this? Oneness album, Blood Moon, which was gifted to me by Trish as well. And then a Mamamoo album, Where Are We? This was gifted to me by Gerald. And then Love Poem by IU, which is also another gift from Trish. Then we have another TXT album, one of my favorites by TXT. Another Icon album, which is Return, which is one of my favorite albums by Icon ever. And last on this case is this, what do you call this? I forgot the title of this album, but this is by Everglow and 7782X 7829. This one was the one with La Dida as the title track. Okay, so we're done with this case. Now let's move on to the last one. Okay guys, this is going to be the last one. I'm already tired. Like, I'm so tired right now. So these are some of the albums that were just so big to fit in this case, so I put it here on my bookshelf. So the last two albums right there that I'm not going to pull anymore, those are Face the Sun regular versions by 17. They're just too big. They're just too big for this case, so I didn't put it there. And then we have here one of my favorite albums of all time. We have Hello by Joy of Red Velvet, and then Wyndham by Red Velvet as well. And then I have a few like digipacks in here by TXT, a Japanese album by TXT as well, Fire Truck by NCT 127. Oh, NCT 127 is the name of the album. Fire Truck is the title track. And then Hot Sauce digipack. This is Chonla by NCT Dream. So I have it there. I'm not going to pull out any of these albums because it's hard for me to put them back. So I have here Face by Solar of Mamamoo, and then this is Hello Future by NCT Dream, one of my favorite albums of all time. And then I have here a magazine by Vogue Korea, which featured BTS as a cover story, and this magazine was gifted to me by Des. And then I have Guilty Pleasure by Wasa and I Say Mamamoo the Best by Mamamoo. And then on this side, so I have here We, and then Glitch Mode, then Beatbox, and then this is another gift by Trish. Thank you so much. This is Girls by aespa, one of my favorite albums of 2022. Love that album a lot. And then we have Sequence by Moonbyul, and then Waterfall by Hanbin or BI, and last one would be Reputation by Taylor Swift. So these are albums that I would have probably put into this case, but they don't fit, so I did not try. So this is going to be the last case, the last shelf, and the last one. Okay, so we're finally done with this tour. As you can see, I'm so sweaty, I'm so ugly. I don't know how do I look right now. Do I look so pretty? So anyway, I am tired. I'm gonna end this video here. I hope that you enjoyed this one, and if you have done everything, you've watched all throughout this video, kudos to you. Thank you so much. So anyway, I look so fucking tired and ugly and exhausted and all this stuff, so I'm gonna end the video here. Bye for now, guys. Thank you so much, and see you on the next one.